and welcome to Redefine Family, a Spark Transformation podcast. I'm your host, Simona Spark, and our mission is to build a future where no one needs to come out anymore. Together, we can create a world where everyone has the right to love, to succeed, to have a family, and to live a full, happy life. Welcome back, everyone. Our guest today is Vinny. Welcome, Vinny.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for giving us the time and willing to share with us your experience. And let's start with telling us, where do you live, what do you do, and what are you identify as?
I live in New York. I come from New York. I work currently as a police officer, and I identify as a gay male.
Wonderful. Thank you. So tell me, Vinny, how far back we need to go to find the age when you realize that you might be different than people around you tell you that you are?
I think on some level you always know. I think there's always something that's in the back of your mind that lets you know you're not like everybody else. Mm-hmm. But for me, it was more or less, I thought it was just going to be a phase. I thought it was just something that I would fantasize about and never actually act on. I didn't think it was ever going to come to fruition. Mm-hmm. The first time, probably high school, I guess I would say. Probably like as I was going into my senior year in high school. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So may I ask you, what did you do?
Well, to give you the short version, I had always dated girls. And when I was in high school, I fell in love with a girl that I was convinced was going to be like the girl that I'd stay with forever. You know, I had never felt this way about somebody before. And for 2 years, we were just basically us. We had sex all the time, and I didn't even think of men. And I was just like, okay, so it was a phase. You know, and I guess on some level, I had put the feelings that I had grown up with somewhere in the back of my mind in like a corner, and I just thought they were gone. But what happened was, it was this summer going into my senior year of high school, and my parents were going away for the first time. They were going on vacation with my little brother and my little sister, and they were leaving me alone in the house. So I said, oh, this is going to be sick. I'm going to have all these parties. I'm going to do all this stuff. I finally, for the first time in my life, felt normal. I felt confident and I was super over the top. I had really grown into my looks. I was getting a lot of attention, and I had tons of friends, and I felt really, really good about myself because I felt normal. I have a girlfriend who's hot. We're in love. We have sex all the time. I'm like a normal teenage boy. Mm-hmm. And what had happened was the night before they left, I was laying, and I'll never forget this moment. I was laying on the floor in my old bedroom of my parents' house, staring at my dresser. We were laying there together on the floor, and all of a sudden, something just shifted. There was a shift in my energetic field, and everything that I had been pushing off, all of those feelings came rushing back. But now they came back with a vengeance. And in that moment, I said, oh shit, everything is different. Then I knew at that point that everything was going to be different. And I started becoming a little depressed at that point.
Thank you for sharing that. We heard before from other guests, and probably a lot of people experience that when they kind of denied that real part of their own identity and just behave in a way that the norm, whatever the norm, is required to behave. And then, of course, you have it all. You're confident, it's boasting, you're the king of the kingdom, right? So I'm just curious, when you got this rush of energy, as you describe it, what changed? What shifted? What let you know that everything is going to be different?
Everything shifted because this is in the late 90s. This was not when being gay was socially acceptable. Like, I grew up in New York, where it's very much everybody's macho, tough, and it's all about image. And, I lived primarily in a place where it was all blue-collar workers, and being gay was still bad, and people still used the terms like faggot loosely and things like that. Like, there was no barriers. There was no, structure to say that equal rights was part of it. It was just gay was bad, gay meant less than, gay meant inferior. Mm-hmm. And for me, after that, there was no, even at that point, the internet was fairly new, and I had nobody to talk to. I was really like, I'm the type of person where if something bothers me, I have to get it off my chest. I can't sit there and act like there's nothing wrong. I have to tell you what's up. And I had nobody to talk to. I was afraid to tell any of my friends. I was afraid to tell my family. And it was a lot. So I used to go onto the AOL chat rooms at the time, make up a fake screen name, and like pour my heart out to somebody and tell them like, listen, I think I might be bi, which was the transitional. I might be bi. I think I might like guys, and and then it would feel so good to get things off my chest. But then after the conversation, I would freak out and be like, oh, they're going to be able to trace this name back to my computer, and they're going to blow up my spot. So I would change the screen name and then do it all over again.
Yes.
That's how I got shit off my chest. That was like my sanctuary for a short time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way that I could communicate my true and honest feelings without actually telling people who knew me what was up.
Right. The transition part of like coming out, but still in a hiding, kind of.
Yeah.
When did you actually talk with a real person live, and how that went?
Well, I met a guy off of the internet, and I said to myself, okay, I'm going to do this once, we're going to hook up, and I'm going to find it disgusting, and I'm never going to think about it again, and I'm going to get this off my chest and get these demons out of my head. So we hooked up, we did our thing, and I left. I felt disgusting and disgraceful, like I had shamed myself, and I went home and I was really upset about it, and lo and behold, the feelings don't go away, And then a week later, I went back on the internet, I started chatting with another guy, and that guy actually became my boyfriend for like 5 years. So that's how I kind of went into the whole coming out process. We became a couple and we did that together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't there any traits of homophobia in your being?
Absolutely.
How do you fight that? How one could fight that? Like, think about preteens or teens, they've been raised with the belief that that is not acceptable. And we see that regardless that it's a religion reason or it's a cultural reason. How a teenager boy could fight that belief? What do you think?
I think more or less our brains are very primitive, right? So when we're children, we have to please our parents. Like the human species and evolution and the practices have totally evolved over the years, but the brain still thinks back to caveman-like. And the thought process is if you don't please your parents, they're going to leave you to die, and there's nobody to tend for you, right? There's nobody to defend for you. Right? So when I was a child, my very first experience with another man was a little touchy-feely with somebody who had, done this before with somebody else when I was young. And I was caught by somebody older than me, somebody who I really looked up to, and shamed and said, boys don't do this. Boys don't do this together. And so one of my first life lessons was boy on boy equates to shame and guilt and disgust. So I grew up with high levels of shame, guilt, and disgust that attached to this lifestyle because I was taught that at an early age by somebody I looked up to, by a guardian.
Right.
And for me, it kind of shaped my thought process going forward as this lifestyle not only is wrong because I was taught that as a young child, but it's disgusting. So therefore, I must be disgusted. And that's kind of how it translates.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. We see that a lot. And I hear you when you say that your story was back in the 90s. And unfortunately, even though we are living amazing times now, there's still a lot of homophobia, in every corner, in every country. And those are the feelings that are associated with shame, guilt, disgust. And what we are doing here, we try to give especially the youth a perspective of there is a light at the end of the tunnel, right? And whatever you feel is normal and whatever you feel is real. And you have the capability of shifting that belief and just kind of trust yourself that what you feel is right. So going back to your story, Vinny, when did you come out to your family?
I didn't necessarily come out to my family. I kind of got found out. I told my first friend when I was like 18, maybe 19, and I told a bunch of my friends, and then I told my sister, and then my 5-year relationship ended, and I started dating somebody else, and we came back to my house one night after being out in the city, and my old bedroom in my parents' house was the garage. So the bed was pressed up against the window, which is ground level. And so we were laying in the bed, we had been drinking and whatever, and we were cuddling in the bed, me and my ex-boyfriend, and my father came to take the garbage out, and we looked in the window and saw us in bed together like that. So that's how my parents found out. And honestly, even though it was a scary time, it was also a relief because I don't know if I would have had the balls to be honest with them. I grew up in times where people around me made fun of gays heavily. Oh, that's gay, bro. That's so gay. Don't be a faggot. Don't be a pussy. Don't be that. It was very, very denigrative. Just the gay community as a whole. It was very tough to ever want to associate that. And I always equated being gay meant being weak, being put in a class where people are going to call you girl and they think you're going to be a hairdresser. I just didn't want to be put in a box. I still don't want to be put in a box. I don't like that. I don't think labels are, I don't think they're appropriate.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, because that's what we try to break here, all the boxes, and allow people to be who they need to be and who they are meant to become, regardless of their gender identity or sexual orientation. It's like you get to be your own person. You are your own person. You don't need to fit in any box, right? Let's go on your timeline, and here you are, a grown-up adult, police officer. Let's talk a little bit about your career. Does your gender identity has any challenges in your career at all?
Well, when I went into the job, I was already out for many years, and then I went back in there and I kind of kept it low for a while. I had been dating somebody who was already a cop before I went into the academy, and we went to the parade one year, and he was so paranoid to like hold my hand or give me a kiss or anything, and I was preaching. I'm like, be proud of who you are, and who gives a shit, yada yada yada. And then the next year when I went into the academy and I wasn't talking anymore, I called him and I was like, yo, I'm so sorry I did that to you. I totally understand why you wanted to keep it under wraps, you know? But like I said, if I'm not true to who I am and I'm not honest with who I am, then the wrong people are going to like me for the wrong reasons, and I'm going to give off the wrong impression. And I refuse to lie. You know, at that point in my life, said, okay, I'm just going to omit things. So like I would stand with a group of cops and they would check out girls and I just wouldn't say anything. And at this point, like I would have said, yes, that girl is hot, if I could turn around in the same second sentence and say that guy's hot too. You know, but there was still that fear, that underlying fear that makes me feel like people are going to judge me, people are not going to treat me the same. And you know what? It might be something I live with for the rest of my life. I don't know. But I do know that the way that the world has changed now and what I'm experiencing, being 100% true, authentic to myself, feels the best. Absolutely the best.
I love that. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Like, let's move the focus on being true to yourself and lead from that place instead of whatever underlying belief might still be there, associating with all the things that we discussed prior, like it's not allowed, this week. I'm curious what you will say to young adult or teenager that might find themselves in loss with their gender identity and might not have anybody to talk with.
Well, all I can say is to be 110% your true self will be the most rewarding. You might have trials, you might have tribulations and challenges that arise, but it's going to strengthen you and make you into the best version of yourself that you can be. You know, I used to always think like, okay, I don't want to be classified as a feminine gay guy, but I love the Golden Girls and I don't really like to watch sports. So, you know, the fact that I love horror movies, maybe that makes me masculine. Maybe the fact that I, like doing guy shit makes me masculine. I love being a man. And I realized there doesn't have to be an equal balance of anything. Just be yourself. If you love all things that people look at as gay, then love that. If you love all the things that people look at as not gay, do it. But don't come as a title. I've noticed that way too many gay people that are insecure create this persona, if you will, this character to show the world. And it's not really who they are. And to do that, I've never actually had to do that, but to do that, I've seen a lot of people around me do that. It's exhausting. Be 110% who you are, and the right people will love you. Because whether you realize it or not, you being you is helping the next person. You might not know this now, you might not see this until later in life, but by you being you and you being strong, even if you think it's not doing anything, later on you will find out that you have helped somebody unknowingly. And that's been a big part of my journey.
I love it. All I'm hearing from you is break the boxes, get rid of the labels, be true yourself, and lead from that place. I mean, it's applying in anything in life. I mean, having a truthful life.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what people believe as far as, I'm not religious, I'm a very spiritual person, but my own take on this is I've lived this life as a gay man, and another life I might have lived as a straight man where I've had a gay father or a gay brother or a gay whatever, and this is the way to see things full circle. You know what I mean? It's a way to see things on both sides of the spectrum, so you know how it feels to be in one place and how to be in the other place. That's a soulful lesson.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people abandon spirituality because it becomes, how does God do this to me? Why did God make me gay? Why did God make me different? God made you perfectly. Whatever you believe in, whatever you subscribe to, made you perfectly in his own image, because it's exactly where you're supposed to be and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, as long as you're staying true and authentic.
Yes.
That's I'll try to live by it.
Beautiful. Yes. I choose to look at gender and every person actually as a mix of feminine and masculine energy. And in every given moment, we are called to operate from one particular energy. And that's it. But in the end of the day, we are making a connection with another human. And that connection could be in business, could be friendship, could be love, could be marriage, could be whatever. But it's just that. And we don't need a label. We just need like, okay, who is this person? Who is it as a person? Am I making a connection or not? And that's that.
Absolutely. And the truth of that statement is that people are attracted to your energy. Mm-hmm. So if you're addictive and malicious and you're mean and no matter how good you look, nobody's going to really take to you because people, they take to your energy. If you're a good person, regardless if you're gay, straight, black, white, Chinese, whatever you fall into, if you're a good person, that is the most attractive feature that you can have.
Absolutely. I love that. Then when you connect with the person, it doesn't matter. And then it's up to you to follow through or not and, clarify how you define that relationship pretty much.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
As we come here to a closing, is it anything that you want to add, Vinny? Anything at all?
Yeah, what I can say is I spent a lot of years running from who I am. I dove into bad things to numb myself out, different types of crutches to stay away from it. I used to go into gay clubs and get drunk and try to act like a tough guy when I'm not like that at all. I'm a sweetheart. I'll be the first one to admit it. I don't like to fight with people. I like to be everybody's friend. I like happiness. I like laughter. I've never been that type of person, but it felt like I had to do that to prove that I was a man, and that type of shit is exhausting. That's really exhausting. The sooner you feel comfortable in your own shoes and you can stand tall and stand proud and say, I am who I am, you take me or you leave me, and this is what it is, it's the moment that your journey will get easier. To run from who you are is so exhausting, and it takes so much extra work.
I love it. And true to be said is, I don't know a lot of women, per se, to want a man that is not emotional available, right?
Right.
And vice versa is valid too. Like, why do we try so hard to be what societal standards tell us that we need to be, according to our genitalias?
It's the truth. Yeah. You're taught at a young age. You're a man up. Don't be a bitch. Grow some balls.
Don't cry.
Touch your emotions. Crying is absolutely normal. I didn't cry for almost 5 years because I didn't know how to get in touch with that side of me. When my grandmother died, I was able to let go, and it was the most healing experience I've had, and I can't even tell you how long. And it's so stupid that we choose to live from ego rather than to live from spirit.
Yes. Wonderful. You are such a wise man.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. What I can say, my final thoughts will be, is that a lot of gay people go through this. You will try to numb out with alcohol, with drugs, with sex, with food, with whatever you can to get you out of yourself. But all the answers are in here. All the answers are within you. And most people know it and forget it. It's just unfortunate how it goes. The biggest things I could say that have worked for me, not even in this issue, but just in my life in general, are become spiritual, meditate every day, and take care of yourself. Love yourself. Do things for yourself that your soul needs. Self-care is the most important thing. Spend time alone. Get to know yourself. Get to know what you like, and do that.
Amen. I think that's a very good note to close on. We can add anything after this. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure speaking to you, Simone. I look forward to our next session.
Thank you for tuning in to Redefine Family, a Spark Transformation podcast. We invite you to share your story, knowing that your story could change someone's life. Feel free to spread the love by sharing our message with others. We always like to hear from you at spark@redefinefamily.com. Always remember that you are the spark in your life. Just shine bright.